Thank you for coming. I want you to just take a moment to look around at each other, see who's here and who isn't here. Because when the dictatorship ends, hundreds and thousands of people will claim they were here today who weren't here. Everybody's going to want to take credit to look around and see you are the people that stood in the cold, you are the people that stood by the Pearl Roundabout because people in Bahrain couldn't. Whether that happens when the dictatorship ends, soon or not soon, the day is coming. Change is coming to Bahrain, maybe not today or tomorrow or this week or next month, but make no mistake, we won't be here in 10 years' time. We'll be in that embassy, getting our visas to go to Bahrain, or before that, the day when Maryam and Hussein can go home and build a new democracy and a new politics in Bahrain is coming. We're here today because there are so many people in Bahrain who can't assemble peacefully, who can't express their opinions. Thank you for coming. It's a day really for Bahrainis to talk, not Irish people. But thanks very much for coming.
Thank you!
I think I'm going to start by seconding on what Brian said. Thank you all for coming here today. And yes, when the time comes, everyone wants to take credit. Everyone wants to say they were in Tahrir, and everyone wants to say that they were by the Pearl Roundabout. And it's only very few people who actually were, who supported the democracy protesters in these different countries. I think, one of the things that I remember the best about being in the roundabout was the environment that we were in. And it was this feeling of being able to breathe after having been drowned for such a long time. And for the first time, getting oxygen back into our lungs. And that's something that they can never take away from us. Even if things don't change in our lifetimes, and they will change at some point, but even if they don't change in our lifetime, that feeling, that experience that we had on the 14th of February and the 2 weeks after that, in 2011, is something that we will carry on with us for the rest of our lives. And this is also what motivates us to go on. One of the important things about the speeches that were given in the Pearl Square was that people were calling for non-violence. People were calling for a civil government. They were calling for a democracy. The regime of Bahrain tries to paintbrush everyone as being radical and being extremist and being pawns of Iran. And if you were at the Pearl Square and at the roundabout and you heard the speeches of the people, you would know that that was anything but the truth. When my father stood on the Pearl Roundabout and he gave a speech, he said that even when we are victorious, even when we bring about change, we will not torture because they torture. And we will give people fair trials because that's what separates us from them. That's what makes us different. And that's one of the things that's the most important in these struggles, is that we don't forget where we're coming from. We don't forget what separates us from the regime. And of course, my father, right after that speech, was arrested, severely tortured, and subjected to an unfair trial. And despite that, I repeat what he said. When we are victorious, we will not torture them. We will give them fair trials. We will give them due process. Because again, that's what separates us from them. Every year, of course, we try to again bring back the support. We try to again remind people that this happened and this is not going away. Yes, this Pearl Square might be a lot smaller than the one I stood at 5 years ago at this time. But it's definitely something that matters to me as a Bahraini, but I'm sure also matters to thousands of Bahrainis on the ground. To see that there are people who remember them, and there are people who care, and there are people who stood in this freezing cold to say that they support them. So thank you very much to each and every one of you who made it out here today. This is something that we appreciate and that we will remember when the time does come. Thank you.